Hey people. Oh. It was a little Blame It on My Youth inspired improvisation. I played that song the other day on the cabaret. One of my favorites, Oscar Levant, incredible songwriter. And today, well, maybe this is fitting. You know, maybe it came through for a reason. There's I had a thought sort of earlier. It was like a series of kind of revelations this morning as I was sitting in meditation, and I trying to piece together how I got there. But the sort of like in essence version of it was I was sitting and recognizing that being the process of meditation was showing up areas of myself that I wanted to avoid. And that avoidance led me to have the impulse to reach out to other people as a way of not looking within, you know? And sometimes this happens, you know, in the morning, like Annalise will wake up and I'll be in the middle of meditating and it's like, oh, great, Annalise is awake. So this thing that I'm here kind of like wrestling with, I get to put it down because my daughter's awake. Yay! And, you know, but sometimes that could clearly happen in more sort of proactive ways too. I could sort of like reach out. And I just noticed there's this interesting impulse there's an interesting way that the impulse to engage with another person can happen. It's called codependency, which is that when we are kind of avoiding ourselves, we reach out to someone else, right? Codependency, we all know it, we all love it. And it's obviously not healthy. And of course, if we're conscious, then we are noticing that that's what we're doing. You know, there's a way in which like we can't avoid seeing. If we're actually looking, if we're really there, present with what we're doing and seeing, we're not gonna like do it by accident. We're gonna have to do it on purpose. And so then I was like, I took that kind of one step further. So this morning I actually caught myself and I was like, no. I mean, nobody was awake, so it wasn't like, you know, it was getting late, but it was like, I don't need to go wake anybody up. Stay here. And I stayed with the thing just where I was. And what came through for me was that there's, you know, the way that the insight that came through was like, be willing to be alone. Be willing to be alone in this. Don't go sharing this battle you're having. Don't go making it someone else's problem. Stay with it. Be willing to be alone. And then what followed that was this incredible kind of opening, because I've even spoken about aloneness in the past before, but there is something that this inner work and real and deep kind of meditation and self dissolving of patterns and whatnot, it really shows up. There's a level on which we really are alone. We are in this spiritual world alone. Our consciousness is alone in us. One experience of reality, not the only experience of reality, but it's one, and it's an important one. And what came through from that was the aloneness. It's not loneliness, but the aloneness. If we can sit with our own aloneness, if we can really be alone, that becomes the foundation for incredible empathy for other human beings, because the aloneness, the experience of reckoning with our own spiritual conundra, I don't know what the plural of conundrum is, the experience of wrestling with those is universal. It's one that we all have. So actually, rather than reaching out to someone else to avoid our own spiritual predicament, it's resting in the aloneness of our spiritual predicament that gives us that access to what other people's experience even is. That's what opens the door to understanding someone else and seeing where they truly are. You know, not reaching for it or trying to gloss over the sort of profound existential aloneness that we sometimes experience, but actually being able to relate to that, understanding these individual human beings, what their experience is, what our experience is, and becomes the foundation for much deeper sharing and much deeper capacity for connection, because now we're not avoiding by connection. We are simply connecting. We're simply inherently connected to the experience of other human beings, because our own experience is not one that we're trying to evade. We're willing to sit with ourselves. We're willing to sit with others. So there's this incredible sort of, it was like an ignition of the meaning of aloneness and the value of aloneness. The real, the courage that it requires, but also the generosity and the empathy that it allows. That accepting it really truly allows. So that's kind of where it's kind of what's going through. Blame It on My Youth. A song about love that didn't work out, being alone. Yeah. Anyway. Hope you're all having a lovely weekend. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Love you so much. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.